Yo, welcome to the show. As always, I am your host, Prince Marcel.
With your co-host, it's your boy Papa Fredo. This the one and only Midwest point of view. And we come here to talk about business, life, and culture here in the Midwest and how that affects us all around the world. And we got some banging topics for y'all today. So we finna go ahead and get them rolled out here. We're gonna let Prince Marcel kick us off the right way.
Um, as always, we talk about things that matter. We talk about things that impact our community, impact our culture, but really the things that impact us in life. Like, I ain't gonna lie, and going through it every
100.
day can be a struggle.
Man, the
Um,
Midwest ain't no joke. You hear me?
no. And one thing I think we don't talk about as men is how we're impacted in relationships and friendships um, with domestic violence,
Women too though.
mother,
Women too though.
father,
I
and
think it's a
yeah,
lot of women that, they be hiding that too. They don't really speak up and speak out like they should about things that's going on. And then we do got cases like the P. Diddy case or things like that, you know what I'm saying, per se.
mhm. um. So my added take to this, and this was funny when I just it's not funny, but
That
it
was funny.
was surprise. It was surprising, um, but I was actually appeased to hear a woman say this. It was she's from Indiana, so it's coburnplace.org. I always like to give y'all references so like you can go read what it is that we give to you as far as information. We do pride ourselves on when we walked into this space that we respect to people who are actually journalists and give you forms of news, right?
Yes, yes, sir, yes, sir.
So this is about domestic violence, and it's from Indiana State Rep Vanessa Summers, right? And this is a quote from her. It's exhausting being a woman, but it's really exhausting being a black woman. So the trials of the things that you face as a woman can be heavy. And I don't think men acknowledge that or take heed that you are a person, that your feelings are valid, that the purpose that you serve in this world, being a nurture, being a mom, being the biggest and greatest helping hand to society, sometimes isn't appreciated. It's
Yeah,
misused and it's abused, and it's hard. And
yeah,
I know it's hard on you, y'all, especially as black women.
yeah. Let them know, man. Y'all very impactful. And before we go any further, as far as thank you for enlightening us on that. You know what I mean, giving us that piece there. Uh, domestic Violence Awareness Month, we just walked out of. Just to let y'all know, that's the reason why we on this topic here. Okay, October, for those of you that do not know, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and the reason why this month um, was created, was to bring out that awareness to what's going on in our community and the families around us. This was created back on 1981 is when it began, and just so forth going on there throughout each year, of course. The day was intended to connect advocates across the nation who were working to end violence against women and children. The Day of Unity soon evolved into a week-long observance, and in 1989, the U.S. Congress officially designated October as a National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So, just to get a quote there, as far as when it officially became labeled Domestic Violence Awareness Month was in 1989, but the movement has been going on strong since 1981. So, man, just as bro mentioned, it is something that is very heavy in the black community. Myself, I have been a victim of domestic violence. I've witnessed my mother and father go back and forth. Um, I've witnessed other people outside of my family have relationship issues that can break out to all out fights, things of that sort that I wasn't supposed to see at young ages. Um, and we don't really know how to deal with these things as far as with, do we talk to somebody? Do you inform the person that should have known at that time of what's going on, because it may either get the people you love in trouble or things of that sort. We just think of all kind of foolishness when people really need help. It's not okay to get hit by the person you love. Okay. It's not okay to be verbally abused by the person that you love. So you should be open to seeking help and freedom to a certain extent as far as with peace of mind. Because if you think that the violence that you are enduring now will come to an end 30 days from there or the next week or so from there, you are truly mistaken. I'm telling you now, okay? If a person is showing you their true colors as far as whether it's verbal or physical abuse, that is a sign. Get away, get to a safety place, especially if you have children. Even if it is children with this individual, rather it may be female or male, in the case of whom is causing the issues. So, meaning if a man is the one that is causing that abuse, or if a female is the one causing that abuse, it doesn't really matter. Your objective is the safety of your children and your peace of mind.
So I second that. That is very true. Um, there's this topic isn't easy when you put in a space of like you have to reflect of like, damn, how unfortunate this has seemed to become like a norm
Yep.
because of the fact that we both like, for me, it was watching my sibling not being able to like just walk away, and the dysfunction of continuing a repetitive relationship that can become erupt into a volcano of violence, and how that can, it really can, like, listen to me on it. You see my face, it really can affect your children, like
Yep.
it really can.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I encourage our niece so much, and I try to do what I can for our nephews. But I know that even then, because they mentioned it years later, and I'm talking about they about to be 18. Our niece is about to be 20, literally in almost 30 days or so. Um, and they at certain points in their life they still talk about it because they remember. You think that because they're 3 and they're 4 that they don't remember. This is a scary moment. You're like, it's not, it's traumatic for you, it's unfortunate for you, especially our women, but it's a scary moment for them.
Yeah. The things that a kid can get exposed to can travel with them throughout their entire life. And I'm pretty sure we can all agree there. If I saw mommy get beat up by daddy at 3 years old, in some weird way in my head that looked normal. So when I'm later in life dealing with a relationship and I put hands on a female, that's something I saw at a young age, so it seemed to be normal to me. This is how you control mommy.
Especially when, and to so we say these things not to say that they should be normal, but we say these things on how this affects what is deemed to be normal. So for instance,
Correct.
to add to that knowledge, if I see that this dysfunction doesn't create an alternative moment and you just go back to normal. So we had this episode of domestic violence, then you got another one, and mommy or daddy, vice versa. We're going to talk about men here too, but mommy doesn't leave. She may be cooking breakfast the next morning. And see, this is literally what happened. So, like, we're not Johnson about, like, this is literally is what happened. She's cooking breakfast the next morning. Next week, this is happening. They doing one thing, and you like, okay,
Y'all
well,
both are feeding into the cesspool is a key point there. You know what I mean? Like neither one of you are making this situation any better. from the mother that chooses to stay, and damn sure from the man that chose to kept putting his hands on it. So think about that.
Um, no, that's really the truth, man. There's there's so much when it comes to how this just creates a cesspool of an unfortunate community, um, and how this affects our collective community. Like when I want to share something with y'all, so I'm gonna pull up this video um, really quickly, but this is basically a part of like the statistics, the numbers. And when I seen this, I was taken back. Like it was crazy. It was wild. You hear me? Like it was wild. Give me 1 second, y'all. Cause you gotta, I ain't gonna lie, you gotta hear it for yourself. All right. You gotta hear it for yourself.
All right, y'all, Joe, I'm gonna fix this computer.
All right. Papa, you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. All right. Listen up, y'all.
6 times more likely to be killed due to domestic violence than their white counterparts.
It's kind of staticky.
Violence is the leading cause of death for Black
Replay
women
that.
15 to 31 years old. Men are 6 times more likely to be killed due to domestic violence than their white counterparts. While domestic violence is the leading cause of death for Black women ages 15 to 35 years old. How many of you have students going on to college? Young ladies, you need to prepare them. You need to educate them. Let them know this statistic. This is the reality. Even though Black women experience domestic violence at significantly higher rates than white women, they tend to remain silent. This may be due to a number of reasons. Silence out of fear and distrust of the police, afraid it would put them or their abuser at great risk of violence from police intervention being more harmful versus helpful. Silence because we as Black women possess a strong sense of cultural affinity and loyalty to our race, which often targets Black men and stereotypes them as being violent and aggressive. So we don't want to add to that stereotype. We remain silent due to the cultural norms that tells Black women to be strong in any situation, regardless of the physical and emotional harm or pain it may cause. Silent because we don't even realize we're in an abusive relationship, because we have not been taught what emotional or physical abuse looks like or how.
So it's a little bit more, but that's the main just.
Yeah, I hope that y'all could really hear it. I mean, I know it was kind of staticky, but that was a good clip to play, bro. I appreciate you doing that. Everything she said was pretty much valid. We again, we have a hard life from the time that you're born. Your mother has a hard pregnancy, and then you are born. Now you have to be provided for, sheltered for, and hope that you are raised, of course, within a loving home. And not all of us get that. But no matter where you coming from does not mean that that has to be the outcome of your life. That I do want to say. So if you are coming from a domestic home, things of that sort, what you want to do is try not to turn that same negativity that you experienced back into life, back into the world. Yin and yang is real. And as much as we pour in, we will get out. So if you are pouring that negative back, not only are you creating that cesspool to be even bigger, and you are now causing another person to fall victim to the statistics, but you will not live an abundant life. You're gonna experience things that you wish you would have never experienced based on how you put that energy back into the world. And that's just 100.
So And to put it in more of a real standpoint, just to give you numbers, I'm a numbers dude, y'all. 40% of Black women have experienced intimate partner physical violence, intimate partner sexual violence, and intimate partner stalking. Corn Coburn placed that 65% of their clients, and this is in 2020, so it's a recent study. It would be called what a irrelevant or recent study, identifies Black and identifies female. So it comes to question, like what has been happening, why has this been happening, and there's a 400-year gap plus of us healing from it, and healing from it on both sides. When I say healing from it on both sides, again, we love our women, but when we talk about domestic violence, there's a dysfunction in the relationship, and a relationship is two ways. So the domestic violence that happens with men, it can come from our women or just women in general. Like, you can, even with your son, I've seen, so in this form, I've seen, unfortunately, what you would call an unfit parent or unfit mother just dog out and hit on their son. You know what I'm saying? I've literally seen, I'm like, bro, my mom don't do that with me. I don't know if that's healthy. And I don't know if they believe that they were making them a man because they thought that beating on them was gonna make them tougher. But bro, when I was like, bro, why is you my auntie and them, or you know what I'm saying? Why my homie from, like, bro, that's wild. My OG did not do that to me. But even when you become a grown man, like, your woman just not being unappreciative and verbal abuse. You were nothing, you soft, you broke, all these things are form of abuse. Of abuse. Of abuse.
I agree. That'll in total, the awareness needs to be there, right? Let's both agree there, or I'm sure we can all agree there. So that's step A, right? Creating the awareness. Now, let's address before moving on to the next topic. I at least want to address the
Solution.
correct, the solution, the corrective action to what's the problem, to what the problem may be, right? So addressing abusive behaviors, recognizing the problem, seeking help, and commitment to change. Those are the ways to fix this issue. So if it's me being the problem or your significant or the significant other, let's recognize that there. Rather it's you being a brother or it's your other brother, whomever the problem may be amongst the individuals, recognize that. And then if you guys can't come to a mutual understanding there between you or your spouse, seek help, seek a third party that could possibly assist and give you an opinion based on both of y'all outlook. Because sometimes we could be one-sided, men and women. They don't always fall on y'all women. We know y'all one-sided for sure, but it don't always fall on y'all, man. It be us too. We be one-sided as fuck, so that could be a problem. So if you got two people both coming, you may need a third person to kind of get in there and give you an idea of what could be, something to help fix this. And then once y'all have isolated all those issues, you have gotten past that, and you have came to a conclusion. This is what we're gonna do to make it better. Commit to that change, and then see it through. Take accountability again. I can't stress that enough. Take accountability for your faults and what you did as the problem. And just to give you guys an idea, signs of progress for me, and this is just genuinely what I would know for sure, is when you are quick to say, yeah, you know what, I was wrong. I could have did this better. You also mentioned to me that before, so now I'll address it that way. You know, um, Actually following the process, and when you see that the person is giving you good energy, they're doing what you ask, treat that person, give them something to continue to do that. Don't just think that, oh, okay, now I got it what I wanted, then it's going to continue to go. If you don't continue to pour water into that flower won't grow. That's it. That's all. Did
Okay.
you have anything you want to add on to that, Prince, before we shoot on to the next topic?
No, you pretty much summed it up. Only thing that I think I would say is there's a choice that we both have to make as men and women in this world. This goes for all men and women. You have to make better choices. You have to understand that you are valued as a man. Let me say that because, again, I know that we spoke into this, but I want to acknowledge that if you are in an unhealthy relationship as a man, it is okay to say, "Hey, man, this is form of domestic violence," or I have been in that abuse, and there's ways to you have to walk away. I'm a little more direct with men. Get up and walk away.
Yeah, I get what
But
you're saying.
still find resources. But still find resources though, because I won't say it's not resources for you. And then just for our women, like just understand that you are valued too. And same, you really gonna get the same answer. But especially being seen as the caretaker, if you do have kids in this instance, get up and walk away. There
Yeah,
are other
you got to
people
think
out here in
about what's
this
best for
world.
you and your kids to live longevity, and these kids to grow up in a healthy environment for sure. So
Yeah.
the next and thank you for that. Thank you for adding that too, bro, for sure. So just to keep the ball rolling here, the next topic at hand, I do want to say this individual that we're gonna highlight here is a pillar amongst his community. Okay, he is a icon here in the Midwest. Um, the culture that we have his era added on, right? They created their own genre, and thus now the whole world has acknowledged that genre.
Who
So
you talking
this,
about, bro?
oh man, listen, Lil Durk, you know what I
Okay.
mean? So just to go ahead and let y'all know, you know what I mean, roll that out, man. Yeah, we talking about an icon here, and well, I'm gonna let bro go ahead and continue from there at least because we do, he is from Chicago, so I'm gonna let him go ahead and hit this one. I ain't even gonna take his shine there.
Um, nah, man, it's yeah, Midwest kids, we cool. Either way it go. But so what I will say is, and actually we were there. I remember specifically, uh, just to highlight his impact in music and the era that we're from. Like
Hmm.
we don't understand, bro. You remember when L's came out our freshman year?
Oh yeah,
You see what I'm saying, bro? Like we were literally in the auditorium
yeah, and they was playing the
together, bro.
song.
I will never
Hmm.
forget when that dropped, bro. I don't know what made them play it, but like
The
I think we're
entire
having like a
auditorium went up.
bro we went up, bro. Like um, so it was a time, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it was a time. And I think that a lot of people don't recognize
But
that all
really,
of us were young.
but you gotta think about it. That man had a hit in 2010, like that. I'm a hitter.
2010.
You remember that song off his first mixtape?
I'll have to hear it again because there's a few that stick out to me through his era. Like I think it was 300. I think he had a 300 song. He
Hmm.
had a you know what I'm saying. So it was L. There was a few of them, right? But that comes from an era of what you would call we were living, we were surviving, right? And now we're talking about in this very moment in present day, we're trying to address unfortunate downfalls, but we're not addressing his hold hold on, but we're hold on, hold on. But we're not addressing his unfortunate downfall. I mean his choice to transition from unfortunate downfalls and during that period. Like he just had his birthday and outside of having the concert, what he decided to do in his first motion of his birthday was host a giant prayer. He's truly been trying to push peace, choosing to push Dean as a Muslim, having imams there. That was a real form of transition, and he wanted to show the world that, yo, I've chosen as a man to take this path. that I am a father, I am a man, I am a black man, and I am a Muslim.
Yeah, I
And
think
through
that's
this
big.
transition, yeah, but through this, and I'll finish up. So through this transition, that's big, especially because he had other brothers who traveled from other states from St. Louis, and I had my homies was there. Like it was people that actually embraced Islam and actually took their shahada. So I think that was really beautiful, and I really think we should highlight that. But go ahead.
No, I don't want to take from you there. I mean, it's just abundance of things, of course, to highlight as far as with what he has done for the community. I mean, he has a neighborhood foundation called Neighborhood Heroes.
Yeah, shout out neighborhood heroes. Shout
So
out neighborhood
if we're
heroes.
gonna, highlight that, let's just highlight the man in general, like not the fact of, one thing, but just, and I say that for everyone. Don't sleep on the man outside of the artist, right? Outside of his religion, things of that sort, the individual man there and the choices that he have made throughout his life. So he has been a good, not just a good icon, but a good header for our community. We don't really have a lot of people to look at, and they're still doing things for us that trickle down to everyone here in the city or in other places. Like,
We
how
may
can I
not be
say?
aware. We may not
Or
be
we may
as
not be
aware.
aware. There is that too. There are a lot of
Yeah,
people that are doing things that we
yeah,
aren't aware of. But
yeah.
there are so many people that, they get so far or they obtain a bit of success, and it's almost like that 10% that you pay back to church, right? That a lot of people don't pay back. And I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just simply saying, it's just like that 10% there. There is a 10% that should be given back to your community.
I'm gonna say it should be more, but I follow you. I
So as
follow
long
you.
as you can follow me and agree with me there, we have a mutual understanding. So that's what I want to say is as far as with I appreciate him. And I want to commend him for that. You know what I mean? So I think that just speaks value on the man's character.
And just real quick before we move forward, there are men who follow suit, right? So he has neighborhood heroes, G Herbo. For us, when we talk about going back to the era, like that was love her. Like I sometimes I still say that, and I still listen to Fazoland, but he has swerving through stress. Uh, Chance the Rapper, going off the nine, and off the nine for those that don't know, it's 79th. But he has social works, or he does a lot of collaborative works with his organization, or works with the organization called Social Works. So again, there are men in this city that people try to say is about drill and about corruption and all these other things, that want to make change.
No, I agree. I mean, yeah, of course, there's more than just himself outside of Lil Durk that are looking to fight for change. I mean, you got J Main going on podcasts to fight for peace. That speaks volume. I like it. I love it all. Shout out to Golden Child with the Unity Movement. We appreciate all y'all and what y'all doing for our youth. Um, so currently, as far as with Lil Durk's status, we all do know that he is currently allegedly going under um, investigation, things of that sort, for the murder for hire conspiracy case. Um, Again, I'm just thankful for the things that this man has done for the Midwest, and what he has truly brought to the Midwest. Um, I don't think that he should be determined based on any cases, or I guess I should say like what police standpoints, because I say that because you can get arrested, right? You can get arrested for stealing a gun, and the narrative that can be turned on you could harm your business or what you may have created for yourself to be successful. So that's why I think it's better to look at some of the things that make more sense to what he has done for his people and what he does for his community and what he brings to the music industry in whole. You know, I'm gonna give it to you like this, right? Am I guilty if I shoot someone that shot a friend that me and Prince Marcel share, and then when the police come, not only do they take me, but they take Prince Marcel as well, and they accuse him of be, involved with the crime. So is that really right? Is he really guilty?
For all you law nerds, book nerds, you'll be like, "Oh, sir, that's called." Look. Um, nah, bro, I'm not.
Exactly. Like he in the
Um,
safety of his home, man. He didn't have, and
I
I'm
don't
just
know
saying this
anything.
for this scenario, you know what I mean? This young man in the safety of his home don't know what's going on. I chose to go out and do that. So how does that make him guilty? That's just my outlook as far as with if it was a scenario in that manner.
Mhm. Um, so this is what I'm going to say, and this is really a standpoint of a decision that I believe we should make as a region, as people from the Midwest, as people in this country, and especially as people in our community, believe in making a righteous change. Of all faith-based backgrounds, if you believe in making a righteous change and being rehabilitated and wanting to choose a more holy path and say that I have maybe done wrong to some people, something that wasn't just, that I want to make a correction in my life and be the change that I actually want to see. Like, we should stand on that. If you're gonna say, yeah, go pray to God, pray to the Almighty, and show Him upon your prayers afterwards that you really want to live a righteous life, that you really believe in change, that you really want to shape your community into something better, not from what you come from. Because when we talked about it earlier about our era, a lot of people don't realize, bro, we were all teenagers. I think if Durk is a little older than us, but even in that age factor, so Durk was probably like 16 when we were 13. You know what I'm
Man, listen,
saying?
it don't make no sense the amount of violence that we were seeing around that time, bro. Just straight up. And then, whether you like it or not, you kind of take it to it. You know what I'm saying? In some sick, weird way. It's everywhere. So of course, you can't get away from it. So now it's starting to come, just to be like a norm. To hear about your best friend getting shot or your uncle or cousin dying. Just man, it's crazy. It's really crazy. Like, let me tell you something, right? My own cousin killed my brother. Like that's just how wild life is. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't say that to say like you shouldn't accept that our culture as far as with blacks. Like I feel like we look at another person and you get what is the word I'm looking for? You get envious, you get angry in some sense. Soon as somebody talking to you now, you're finding the negative there. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what it be that drive us to do these things to one another. So I say that to just create awareness as far as, man, love your color, love your brother, love your sister. You don't it don't make no sense how much black on black crime it is. You don't hear about white on white crime, not as much as you hear about black on black crime. So are we going to continue to do these things until we all die off?
Uh, I don't believe black on black crime exists. Um, I believe crime is based upon um, your adjacent area. I think that that's a negative connotation. Um, and when I came to this realization, because when I say these things, y'all, you got to remember, like, I walk the path of knowledge itself. I walk the path of consciousness. And I always tell people the reason why I reflect on these things, because I've said these things in real life to myself and to others. But when I actually started to look at the statistics, I said that's another blemish, another stereotype to use, like, because you don't hear other people say white on white crime. You don't hear, like, it's not that. And they don't use it in tabloids, they don't use it in articles, they don't say that. So that's why when I hear that now, again, going back to wanting to choose to change my thought process through my actions and create a better community and a better culture, hey, it's a crime because we're all
No,
human.
I appreciate you definitely
Yeah.
enlightening all of us on that there for sure. It's just more so I just want to, say that the reason why I use this phrase is because statistically proven, I mean, that's what you hear people say, black on black crime. So that's why I say that. Rather it's white, black, whomever saying it, that's just what people say. We've been hearing it since we were kids. Even you just admitted it. You started to been using this your life until you chose to change, you know, how you wanted to go about expressing that. But that's the reason why I say that again, just to create the awareness there. But all in total, man, peace and love, man, to your color. That's all I want to
I love him. Just know I love him.
say.
Just know I
uh,
love him. I couldn't. I
uh,
couldn't. But so what I will say, uh, now we really here to talk about what we really here to talk about because y'all, as y'all know, man, we announced it, or I announced it, especially if you follow me. Shout out to all our subscribers. Shout out to everybody who supports us, shares us, as a duo and as individual creators. But like I said, though, it was a special announcement. As when you see this is the only day of the election. So thank you for everybody who stayed with us. I told y'all before we was gonna talk about the election, we're gonna talk about a few things. But stay tuned in, and then, bro, they say they spin these narratives like what was it they came up with, like vote, or I think it was vote or else, right? And each 4 years, even though you should think about the political process, if you're going to use what you deem as a valid source of leverage, your vote, you should do this every election, like not every 4 years. The primary for your senator, the primary for your mayor, the primary for your state representative, your House representative, and your state senator. Like you should say, hey, I leverage this power I have every year, every 2 years, or whatever the cycle is, for the person that you think can impact your community. Now, going back to what we hear for this fourth year, is the VP Kamala Harris, and former President Donald J. Trump. Lord have mercy.
yeah, he said a whole lot at one time. But yeah, so that's what we're here to discuss. Presidential election. Um, as far as the election itself, man, I just want to say it's going to affect a lot, especially us here as the people. You know, it don't just affect the Midwest; it affect all over. I mean, we're looking at abortion rights, economic policies, all type of things, just beginning to change before our eyes. I mean, just think about it. When Trump took office over Obama, it was so many changes that just started to happen. Things that was put in place, taken out of place. Then you had the pandemic come along. We had an entire system set up for that, right? No
You
shade.
asking me?
No, I'm not asking you anything. No shade. I'm informing you if you didn't know. No shade due to the former president, though, taking those certain things out of office, thus led us to a wide outbreak. I feel a wide outbreak within the U.S., which thus lost to a lot of lives being lost.
Okay,
Now,
okay,
I
that's a
say
strong
that
opinion.
I say that to say those kind of changes on presidency can impact us all in whole. So whomever we may now choose to elect, whether it's President Trump again, no shade, things maybe play out differently. Of course, now he has a bunch of his orders that he set up before that may still be in play. But then again, if Ms. Harris takes office, of course, she's going to do things as she sees fit. So that's something to really pay attention to, man. Take advantage. Like Prince said, we have the opportunity to pick who we choose who we choose and we see fit to lead us into a better day.
And so before we get more detailed into this conversation, and before you guys start picking apart, oh, he's this and he's that. So I am an independent. I'm gonna put that on record for you so you understand it. I am an independent. So what does that mean? That means that I choose to vote beyond policy. I don't favor in party, and I understand that this is a political process. There are more than those two parties, just so you understand that, even on election day. There's the Green Party, the Socialist Party. There are other options that you can actually write in. So if you truly value policies, go towards those
For
who
those
fit
of
your
you that just
policies.
heard this, for those of you that may think the same that I do, it's all a load of bullshit. Who gives a fuck? All we care about is who really is going to become presidency and who are you going to vote for. And if you have vote, please let us know who you have voted for. Mr. Independent.
You asking me? Oh,
Well, I mean, you the only independent in this motherfucker from what you just said.
no, it's a whole group of us. It's a lot of
Of
independent
course,
voters, but
young man, would you please answer the question?
you want to know who I voted for? You want to know who I voted for?
I'm glad you heard me. When you're ready.
All right. Well, since you put me on the spot, y'all, I'll tell you. It's coming out on election day. I
Oh, he
cast my
loved doing
vote
this to me, so we're gonna make sure we get him,
already.
y'all. Let's go, Papa.
So I voted for Cornel West.
Oh, okay. And how about you tell us why you voted for Cornel West?
Cornel West, to me, fit the overall scope of what I wanted when it came to his ideas of implementing change in our community, implementing change in the economy, but understanding that we still need stability and even in protecting the country that we do have, because this is where, for those who don't, wish to live abroad, how we be, I'm gonna move to Africa, and I feel all y'all that likes to move away. But for those who do stay, our community is still here, and he understands, I think to some extent, that there needs to be people here to protect it. I have an uncle who's a vet. I actually have two uncles who are veterans. So even on that standpoint, he believes in a more economically fair system, and he does want to make corrections, and also, and to me, his VP was a woman, and it was a black woman who also was a Muslim. When he himself is an upright Christian revolutionary, he tell you that. And I value a lot of the things that he brought to us as a people. So that was just, but there are others. Shout out to Claudia Cruz, because he did endorse her, and I think that she had some opinions that I could see with. But then there were some things that I didn't agree with. So like even so, you're not gonna agree with everything. Not gonna agree with everything that even the person you do pick. But what out of the majority is the most valuable to you as you cast your vote? And you can write these people in. Like, you can choose to write in on the ballot.
So that is correct. Again, you want to pick to the people that better suit your beliefs, who you think will fit more to your outscope on life, and what you think they have better to bring to our wonderful United States of America. Now, I do want to enlighten you all, or sorry, highlight at least one thing that Prince did bring to the table, right? Even though we do know the talk of the town have been only about two, there can only be two at the end that end up fighting head up. Typically, that's how that goes. So, Cornel West, correct?
Yeah, Dr. Cornel West.
So, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you that don't know about this individual. There may be a lot of you that do, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you that don't. So, I want y'all to drop down below. I'm just curious. What do y'all believe when you're going to go vote, right?
First off, who do you believe will win? Who do you believe will win? And then
my question is to whom do you believe your vote should go to if you already know the two ahead versus the entire candidates that are running for the election? So
wait, say that again. What?
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna make sure I get you right here, right? So say if I know that it's between Kamala and Trump.
Kamala.
However you want to say her name, Camilla. I don't know. They've said this name like 3 different ways. So all I'm saying is, right, Miss Harris or Trump. My vote go there. Or should I vote amongst all 4? Just pick somebody that I know that ain't even gonna win.
Oh, that's not true. But go ahead.
Y'all understand the question? Drop a comment below. Help me out because I'm still stuck here. All right. I know I want to vote. I know I'm gonna vote for somebody. But it's like the 2 that we have that seems like it's gonna be there. It is difficult. They both are difficult. Below, maybe y'all can help pop it out.
So what I'm going to say to that is you always have a choice when you go to the booth. But really, let's talk about policies because I want you guys to be aware, like we ain't just talking like, oh, okay, no, like what?
Well, if we're going to talk about policies, how about which policies are you looking to talk about?
I'm getting there.
Because if it's not policies between
What?
What I said, if it's not policies between Trump or Miss Harris, I don't think it'll matter.
So talking about
that's gonna win.
So I don't know what he on, y'all.
Go ahead and get to your policies, bro.
Talking about the policies when it comes to the elections. This is from ProPublica.org. In the election, that like people think that it's cut and dry when you talk about states, right? They think it's cut and dry when you talk about cities. You know, they be like, oh, this place is blue. It could be marked blue, but that don't mean everybody thinks blue. It could be marked red, but that don't mean everybody thinks red. So it says big city Democrats, and royal Republicans are royal, like so royal country town, like they can have conservative ideals. Big city people can have liberal ideals, and they can live in the same state. And you have us, like how they said that they call them the independent thinkers. You know, they could decide the race. So
independent y'all too.
60% of Ohio residents
independent.
Yeah, for sure.
Because nobody know who to vote for. Go ahead, let me stop.
So one of the issues as far as like when you talk about policies and what you care about,
I'm sorry,
education.
You lost me. So can you go back to like which policy are we talking about?
The policy that can affect education.
Okay. And whose policy is this?
Let me get through it. So education is very important, right? We want to know what is the outline for the next 4 to umpteen years. So like, how will they teach our children? 60% and how education can impact the workforce. So 60% of Ohio residents only have a high school diploma, right? And one of the things inside of education is the price of education. So On the Democratic side, what she suggested in her outline, and you can go on like her website even now to see what her program is, but it's basic around a Democratic suggestion of workers gaining relevant skills, apprenticeships, community and college programs, military service, on the job experience, increasing the working minimum federal wage. And I want y'all to understand the difference. There's the minimum federal wage, and then there's
You got something playing in there?
yeah, my bad, y'all. But there's the minimum federal wage, and then there's your city or whatever company you work for that is like it's called locality or what their base pay is. Those are two separate things. And the federal wage is $7.25. Now, one of the things that I really want to highlight to you in regards to like the price of education and you know trying to make college affordable to get these affordable jobs is that just because they raise the federal wage does not mean that the corporation or the city has to raise the wage in which you're working. An example is I was already making $15 an hour when they was talking about raising $15 an hour. I was already making $15 an hour. So you raise it, that don't mean that the company I work for is going to raise my current pay to 20.
Yeah, it just means that everybody else is going to be making the same pay as you now.
And if I ain't rich, just saying that.
Okay, so all right, when you say her, who are you referring to?
Oh, Kamala. I thought I said the Democratic Procedures of Kamala's website. I said that. Democratic
Yeah,
Procedures of
you said
Kamala's website.
Democratic, but I would prefer that you would at least use her name as well. That's why I asked who is her, because you only said her.
Kamala Harris's website.
There we go.
You want to pitch in? You want me to continue? Yeah.
I'm just here to clear up, sir, for all of those in the background.
And then on the Republican side, in regards to like that's their idea. They're going to increase minimum wage to there. When you have an affordable living and the education then can be affordable also. On the Republican side, or in Donald Trump's website, in his policy book, and I'm paraphrasing, so this is not verbatim. I'm paraphrasing. Cut the costs, higher education. Buy America for America. Expanding the 529 education savings account, supporting homeschools, project-based learning, and providing career training. Go ahead. That's my main thing. I have like two others, but that's my main thing.
Well, I mean, I believe that's like what the first thing for both of them.
Yeah,
I figured so. So besides that, what you have enlightened them on there. There's an abundance of things to check in for both parties. I'm not going over all that with you all. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hey, he mentioned the first thing off both topics. That's great. I'll go ahead with the second one. We're looking at housing for Kamala. As far as with the build 3 million more affordable rental units and homes. She wants to provide 25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. Hey, lady, I like that. I ain't gonna lie. That sounds sweet to me. But I bet property taxes is gonna be going up. Watch what I tell you. Cut red tape to accelerate housing construction. Analyze firms that hoard available homes. I like that. So what about land? I think they should include land on that because some of those land banks are just hoarding land. And y'all could be reducing the price to make it more affordable to the public. That's just my opinion. Okay? That's just my opinion. All right. And 1 second here. As far as with our good old former president, Donald Trump, we're just going to go over the immigration. I mean, he wants to complete the border, of course, wall and increase enforcement around the border, end birthright citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants.
That's wild. But go ahead.
I know,
Keep
right?
on.
That just threw me off reading it. Reinstate policies like the remain in Mexico for asylum seekers. Militarize the U.S.-Mexico border. Suspend refugee admission from the Middle East.
So this is my question, y'all. And Fred, this is for you to sum it up. When you hear and read these things and policies, and now what you
Say that again.
when you hear and read these things upon the policies, and I would say like read through all their policies. Again, like I said before, you're not going to agree with everything, but just read through all their
Yeah, because
policies.
Kamala got some stuff too.
But when you read these things, how do you feel now? You know what I'm saying? When you start doing your research.
So if you're asking me per se, I've already read into both of these. You know that. I mean, come on now. We've even spoken on Project 25 alone. I mean, this is my thing, right? In all reality, only one person is going to win, and it comes down to two every election, right or wrong. I'm not wrong. So what I'm saying is that amongst the two that you do know that you have to pick from, it's just coming to that realization on who's the better vote. And even then, are you still making a good selection? Because we got Biden in the office. That ain't do us no better.
I forgot he was talking. I'm like, who's we?
No,
Well, go ahead.
so now it's an open discussion. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm simply saying is, I'm not speaking from an uneducated person. What I'm speaking is realistically what's going on and what we know what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm still stuck between the two. I mean, as far as don't get me wrong, like it's not like I'm just so stuck like that. But reading between both policies, they do just be like, all right, man. You know, but I'm sorry, Carnell West. I can tell you now, though, sir, you're out of the question.
Okay, that's cool. His opinion, y'all. My closing notes though, for this is please read into the policies before you just make this color, this movement, this so forth and so on. When you get to the voting poll, if you decide for who you decide for, do not feel ashamed for that.
Yeah.
Don't at all. Like stand on
Be
your morals.
happy that you voted.
As a community, this is what I want to say. When you make the decisions and when the decisions are done and the race has moved forward, we still as a collective community have to survive and come together when these things are over with. Like seriously, no matter which way this lands, we have to figure out how we're going to make it in this world together, even after these decisions.
Yeah, the people.
Those are my closing notes.
For sure. So I ain't arguing with you there, man, at all. Like that's a fact. The people got to be the ones to deal with the decision that's made for whomever end up leading this, and it don't just affect us here in the U.S. because we've seen that whomever you pick to be presidency can take that shit and go all the way over there to Russia and fuck they shit up and make that shit trickle back to us too. So. It's just, man, it's crazy.
Okay. Like I said, hey, go out there and exercise your vote. Like, share, subscribe to the channel.
Exercise your vote every 4 years, man. Big on that too, bro. You got judges, mayors, all type of things to take lead into, man. You could pick who's over your district, who's running the whole community over there. You could pick. You could pick who the alderman is gonna be.
Mm-hmm. Like, share, subscribe. Let us know if you love the show. Support us. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram. As always, you know what I'm saying? This is Midwest Point of View. You heard?
Hey, man, it's Papa Fredo and your boy.
This is Prince Marcel. I thought this man here, bro. What? Look. This is what I have to deal with. But I love her, bro. Don't think we're just gonna break up.
Bruh,
We're gonna see y'all later.
This is what
I'm
I
just
have
saying.
to deal with,
I'm
and I
just
love
saying.
him. Don't listen to this man.
Yeah.
He don't even know what he be talking about half the time. He
We
just
gonna
be
see
running
y'all
that thing.
later.
All right.